I was muted. Hey, there we go. Hopefully you can hear me now. Let me know if you can hear me. So, welcome to the Microsoft 365 Copilot Connection. I did the whole introduction. But I think you should be able to hear me now. Let me know if you can't in the chat. You can see I'm very disorganized right now. It's been crazy for me. Lots of work, lots of personal life changes, adjustments. Has not really given me very much time to create content. And so it's been a little bit of a challenge to get anything out there recently. But glad to be able to host another live stream. Glad to be here. We already have 12 people in here. Hey, shout out to all of you always joining in. Glad to have you here on a Friday evening of all times. Why aren't you guys out partying? You know? Or who even goes in parties these days? Maybe I'm just too old at this point. I don't know. But anyways, let's talk about a little bit of what's been going on, and then we're going to get into a bunch of updates. So, personal side for me, really quick, I've been sick. This is the number one. I've been really under the weather. Usually, I'm better after 2 or 3 days, and I don't know if all of you are getting like this, like me. I just hear this recently across my coworkers and my friends and family as well, but it's just like lingering. It just won't go away. I was on a customer call just the other day, and I ended up I couldn't speak. I was talking, I was educating, and then I was trying to get something out, and I got that something like stuck in my throat, right? And I started crying almost while I'm on this video call with my customers. I'm like, you guys all got to give me like a minute or two. So it's just been one of those times. My daughter just turned 4 as well, so we have been going through all the birthday party shenanigans, trying to get everything ready for her birthday, which is tomorrow. So, party's tomorrow. She's already 4. Apparently she's the popular kid at 4. I don't know why, but we have like 60 or 70 people going to her birthday party, like 20 something kids. So, it's going to be a crazy day for me this weekend. But again, I wanted to get out there. I wanted to, make another video. I wanted to talk to all of you about things that are going on. So, again, my sincere apologies. Not too much content, but hopefully we'll have some stuff here over the coming weeks. Work has been a little nuts, too. I'll be traveling a little bit here in October as well. I'm going to be heading to Orlando for some work. So, probably not too much content unless I can get stuff pre-recorded. I don't know, maybe I'll try to do a live stream from a hotel. Let me know if you'd like to see that. That'd be interesting. It'd keep me up on probably like a Wednesday or Thursday evening that I'll be there. Something to do, right? Otherwise, I'll probably be going and getting some pizza and dinner. So, all right, work. Oh my gosh, what's been going on? It's honestly hard to pick and choose a specific area of focus for updates. So let's give you all a little bit of what's been happening. I know the biggest update that was just recently announced was on Wednesday this week, I believe it was. It was either Wednesday or yesterday. Claude models, wrong mouse. Claude models are now inside of the researcher agent. I'll put that article in the chat for everyone, so you should have that. So, I honestly was not expecting this type of update. This caught me off guard. And initially, we heard some rumblings. I think I talked about it in my last live stream. We heard some rumblings of Anthropic and the Claude models coming out to Copilot experiences. And I think the talk was Claude models being injected into certain application experiences, like Excel, for example, was pretty much the main app experience that I heard about. And I honestly, I don't know much about the Claude models. I'll be very open and honest. I don't really understand the core similarities or differences between Claude and GPT-5 or 4.0 that we use now, 4.01, which is technically what's in the researcher agent. So I'm sure that there are similarities, but also differences. I do hear that Claude is used a lot for things like coding, vibe coding, as it's so called these days as well. I've looked into vibe coding. I still don't quite understand it, but I'm not a developer either. So something else I think that will be interesting to look into. But it's now in the researcher agent. So actually, I tried to configure this earlier. Hey, look, it's here. So let's try something. While let's enable this, and let's say um, research and identify the core similarities and differences between GPT-4o1 and the I don't even know which specific model is it. Let's see. Does it list it in here? Sonnet 4 and Opus 4.1. But which one is it? Opus 4.1 for the researcher agent, it looks like. So let's copy that out. And and Claude Opus 4.1. The purpose of this is to understand what different form of tasks I should use with the Claude model in the researcher agent as compared to GPT 4o1, which is the main default. This is a part of the Microsoft 365 Copilot experience and license. All right, let's just send that off. Okay, because I want to talk about some of the complications with this, right? Because there are some core differences. I have this gut instinct that not many organizations are going to enable this, at least right away. I'm just going to say go ahead. Go ahead. So we're asking Claude first, and then I think it'd be fun to do a comparison. Let me actually take the same prompt. Let's do a comparison between the two. Why don't we see what the response from Claude is, and then we'll see what the response from GPT 4o1 is as well. I think that would be intriguing. I could even send this to a Copilot page and then compare with GPT-5. Maybe that would be something to try out. So, go ahead. Come on. Go ahead. Okay. Let's see here. Claude is fantastic at generating Office files and executive dashboards on the fly, already tinkering with it in Researcher and meeting with our compliance team on Monday to review the security. Okay, cool. Hey, not your average Joe Rogan. Thank you very much. By the way, I want to get to your initial chats as well. I know you mentioned questions on Copilot being able to ground in data in Planner and To Do. Nothing yet. Nothing from the product group. I hear this all the time from this community, actually, as well as my customers. I've heard it a few times, actually, in this community, either in the comments of my videos or in office hours. I haven't seen anything. I checked, the public-facing roadmap. I do have access to some internal-based roadmaps. There's nothing anywhere. So I can't talk to anything, of course, on the internal roadmaps, unfortunately, but I can just tell you firmly, I've yet to see any updates for those core application experiences being leveraged as graph grounding sources. So that's something, of course, I recommend always providing the feedback, right? Send in the product feedback via the send feedback mechanism here in the ellipses. Send feedback right here, just so that way you can get your voice heard. All feedback, I know for a fact, goes directly to the product group. It actually does go to your organization as well. So your organization can see any product feedback that you submit. Best practices, general best practices for sending feedback. You need to be very in-depth about the reasoning of why and the value that you perceive out of whatever feedback, or maybe like include examples, use case scenarios. Why would it be valuable for you? Because you have to always remember, all of these things, even though we're driving with AI, are still determined by people. And we still have to, at the end of the day, as a part of our internal programmatic workflows of how the product group will pick and choose what features or functionality or areas to focus on, we incorporate feedback, and we also look at the way the product is going to evolve long term. So just some things to consider. Be very descriptive. Maybe even have Copilot write out the descriptive value statements, including examples, things like that, and then send it in the feedback. That might be helpful. I do not currently work on I would assume you said sales for Copilot, the sales chat agent. I don't work with that side of the Copilot experience, but I have a feeling I probably will have to in the not so distant future. I don't even have access to that functionality at this point, a Copilot for Sales. But I believe I mentioned this on my last live stream. So right now, and I did pull this up on my other screen, I can't show it, but right now we are updating what is supported as a part of the Microsoft 365 Copilot license. So around the beginning of October, beginning mid-October, all Microsoft 365 Copilot licensed users will have direct access to the role-based solutions. Copilot for Sales, Copilot for Service, and Copilot for Finance. So that's just going to be added in, built into the license. Previously, it was like a sub-SKU, an additional cost that you would have to pay in order to gain access to, again, things like Copilot for Sales was pretty prominent from what I've seen across our customers. But now we're unifying all of that material under one single form Microsoft 365 Copilot license. Now, of course, I don't have access to those features. So with that in mind, I will have to wait until I gain access through these demo environments like I'm showing here on the screen. And once I do, if it's going to be a part of the Copilot license, I'm going to have to figure it out because that's what I directly support as a part of my role as a cloud solution architect. I've talked about my role a little bit before for people, so all of you know, like, yes, I do work for Microsoft. If you're new, you've never really seen the videos, maybe the live streams popped up, I am a Microsoft employee. I am a full-time employee. I directly assist with planning and architecture of deployment and strategy of Microsoft 365 Copilot services for very large enterprise customers. We're talking, large, I mean, possibly millions of employees style customers. It changes, of course, as we do our, how should I say, or reorgs and such. So I've switched off from some customers to others here over this new fiscal year. We started back in July. But I'm enjoying where I'm at now. I'm working with a lot of like telco, media, gaming-based companies. So just some cool things to talk to, at least a little bit of the role change that I've experienced. Some new industries that I'm trying to grow into and figure out more. Hey, cool, we got one response. Did the other one respond? Okay, cool. I wish, the one thing I wish about Researcher Agent that they need to incorporate is how long it reasoned. Like how long did it take this to reason? I want to look at the Claude one a little bit. Let's check this out. Hold on. Scroll back up here. Okay, so this is what I expect for Researcher with GPT-401. I say this, I wish I had the time because, sometimes I go off to different screens. I don't know when exactly it has finished and things like that. I'm sure all of you, if you're using Researcher and such, you've tried this too. But that's why I like GPT-5. GPT-5, it gives you the amount of time that it reasons. So I think that's a great update. Just a little tiny thing, right? Little tiny things like that, tweaks and changes. I send this type of feedback in all the time, and I hope that they incorporate some of that. But I actually got GPT-5 to reason for at least 5 minutes the other day. I was very proud of myself. Usually GPT-5 reasons for 30 to 90 seconds. I've gotten it to hit 120 before. But I got it to reason twice, actually, for over 300 seconds. I was like, over 5 minutes. I'm like, man, new record. It's like, what's the next prompt that I can submit that I can get the most amount of time out of it? So, okay, let's take a look at some of the similarities and differences in terms of the overall experience, right? So, Rick here says, at least an alert that says the processing it. Rick, that's great. Actually, I think it's sort of... Let me move my camera. Hold on. There we go. I actually think we have a little bit of that now that I'm looking at the UI. But the problem is the indicators aren't there. So if you look at the user interface, it's really hard to tell. But you can see the two conversations, they're bolded. Usually any of you ever tried schedule prompt feature, if you haven't seen the video on the channel, we have a video for how scheduling prompts works and functions. When you schedule a prompt and that prompt runs, you get a little red status indicator and the conversation is bolded. That's nice because it tells you what you've not read, just like in Teams chat messages or emails and such. but this has bolded the conversation. So, I guess that's some status, but you don't get like a visible alert or anything like that. So, yeah, Rick, I agree. It'd be nice to get some alerts and such too, especially if you're running multiple of these conversations simultaneously. Okay. Let's see this. I know I'm going really fast. Let me take a second. Let me slow down. Let me get a drink. I'm excited. I'm going really fast because I'm so excited to be able to interact with all of you. It's been way too long. I haven't gotten any content out there. I'm just excited, right? So when I get excited, I talk like this a little bit. And there's so much new stuff. I don't know what to focus on. So, okay. So I can already tell one difference in just the overall experience, not even looking at the output, is the reasoning itself, right? So this is GPT 401, and the reasoning, it's just this very clear, simple step-by-step analysis, paragraph-based format, nothing too complicated about, again, I would call this like its inner monologue, how it thinks and reasons and plans prior to responding. So you get this, again, like paragraph style format of information. But the thing I noticed here, like, look at this. This is intriguing, the way Claude specifically speaks and reasons. We get the same form of steps, but it's almost like really in-depth, detailed sub-step information that's included in here. So that's at least one difference, but it's only for this first one, browsing the web. User is asking for deep comparison, specifically in context of Copilot research. They want... Okay, so then it just sort of lists out core things, and then I should. Okay, interesting. So maybe a different approach to reasoning. And again, I don't know Claude Opus 4.1 at all. So an area of, focus that I need to learn more about. Now, it looks like this is more in line with what I normally see. Paragraph format, inner monologue. So some like interesting, again, keep like bullet type points and such here. All right. So let's do this. Let's add this to a Copilot page. Let's add this one to a Copilot page. I'm not going to read all of this in front of all of you. That's why we have AI for, right? Why would I read all of this? So what we're going to do is we're going to add these things to Copilot pages. I'm going to say Claude output comparing 401, 4.1, and then we're going to say GPT 401 output. Now, let's open up a brand new conversation, duplicate. And let's go to my favorite. Honestly, I've been loving GPT-5. Let me know in the chat. Have you been using GPT-5? What are your thoughts? If you've had some time to work with it, are you liking it more now? You not liking it more? Give me your open and honest feedback. I will tell you, GPT-5 is a great prompt writer. I'll try to show a little bit of a demo use case for that here in just a bit. Great prompt writer. Fantastic. Right? So let's do this. Compare the following two research reports and provide how do I want to word this? Provide your analysis on the results. I want to understand the similarities and differences between the two reports. The first report slash, let's see here, I did GPT. Okay, of course, it's not going to find it. So let me copy this. Let's refresh. It just hasn't grounded the data yet. Let's try again. Slash GPT. Okay, well we'll give it a minute. We'll give it a minute. Okay. So yeah, we'll give it a minute. You know what? I'll do a different example then while we give that data a little bit of time to flow in there. Let's look at the comments. GPT-5 equals big improvement. Love GPT-5. Can we build agents using the agent builder in GPT-5? You cannot yet. Still GPT 4.0 as the main default experience. To my understanding, GPT-5 as a model selection picker for agents is only available via Copilot Studio. I have yet to see it in Copilot Studio, but also I don't really work in Copilot Studio that often. So if anybody here is doing more agent building, low code, citizen development style work in Copilot Studio, it should be in the model picker experience. If not now, then soon. It was indicated when it rolled out around the early middle August that it would be in Copilot Studio eventually. So eventually there, but still GPT-4o for the main model experience within custom built agents. So something to consider there. If you have time, can you comment on Researcher in notebooks? Oh, Rick, great call out there too. Let's see here. Is it in my experience yet? Wow. See, I still don't have it. I still don't have it. So Rick, tell me in the chat. Do you have Researcher in Copilot notebooks yet? Let me actually check and see if it's in my internal environment here. 1 second, everyone. Let's go to this one. Do I have Researcher in notebooks? It's loading. No, I don't even have it in here either. Oh, you want it? Yeah. So I can't comment. I haven't had the chance to use it. I don't even have it still. Yeah, I know it was supposed to be released soon, along with some new options in notebooks for like getting like a one-pager brief and like fax information, things like that. But no, Rick, I don't even have it yet. So it's hard for me to talk to it just because I've yet to be able to like fully experience what it can do. Of course, I would love to try it out and see what it can do for everyone, but Baron here says we have GPT-5 in Copilot Studio. Good, good, okay. So yeah, so something to consider. I'm sure we're going to see GPT-5 expand further. You know, I don't know if any of you like really follow like the AI landscape a lot. I try as best as I can. I remember when GPT-5 was first released and came out, man, community backlash was crazy. You know, I don't know if it was bots, if it was, you know, people and more of the commercial edition of ChatGPT not liking GPT-5. Dude, I love it. It's almost like, in my opinion, GPT-5 was built for work, like to get productive task work done, get to the point of what you want, lose the frickin' fluff, man. I don't want all the fluff and just crap that I don't require within my output. Like, give me a plan, help me, you know, incorporate that plan into my work and move forward, like things like that, right? So, uh, again, if you have a different experience, comment on that. Let me know in the chat. But I'm toggling GPT-5 on every single time I talk. I'll show you all something really cool I did. The prompt's not going to be as good, unfortunately, but something that you can try out in your work and see if maybe it works out well for you. So the other day, Friday morning last week, I got up early, and I'm just sitting here at my desk, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I'm just sitting here, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to do, like, all the same customer stuff I'm always doing. I want to figure out something new and cool that I can do with the AI. So I toggled on GPT-5 and I was like, I want GPT-5 to take the reins. And it's very simple, short, easy to use prompt. I said something along the lines of, provide me a highly detailed and engineered prompt I can use to be more productive in my role. Just something like that. Right? Provide me a highly detailed and engineered prompt I can use to be more productive in my role. Now, of course, with the work context, this is great. And with the ability to access what your role is via people entries and information within the graph. So GPT-5 can go and research who you are in your role and then give you something aligned to that role. And also consider if there's like supporting documentation like role guides and things from HR. It can consume all of that rich information, right? And then it can understand your role and give you a prompt against that role. That's what it did for me. As a Copilot Cloud Solution Architect, it understood with this style of ask. I'll just submit this off. It's not going to be a good output here, right? But try it out. Very simple, right? It gave me a prompt that I was able to use for customer planning, right? Like I look at how I really get a well thought out, efficient, planned structure based on my customer context, the things that they're doing, the data it has access to for that customer, and like the additional materials I feed it. Things like, I want my customer to roll out the remainder of their Copilot licenses by the end of this calendar year, right? So like it could incorporate that timeline and generate a plan off of that. And my God, what a prompt. What a prompt. Let's see. Like look at like again, this is probably not going to be very good output because I don't have a lot of rich work data in here. But just like, okay, 56 lines. Mine was like 70 something lines of a prompt. Okay. So what it tends to do, let's see if it did this for this one. Objective, context sourcing. When my ask is ambiguous, output for a task, privacy, deliverables, time zone style. So it didn't do it for this one. But when I've run this before in a few different ways, it usually adds fillable fields. So like field variables. So like what it did for mine was it had like a customer field and a scope of time field and fields around like what their governance policies were or what features or functionality that they currently had enabled if I knew what that information was. What style of report did I want? And all I really had to do is copy that prompt out and then add my information, my context into the prompt to have it create that plan for me, right? And it was able to do that. And oh my God, what impact that has, because I'm not the only Copilot CSA at Microsoft. There are a bunch of us, tons of us working across enterprise customers today. But then we also have other kinds of CSAs. We have security CSAs, we have endpoint device CSAs. And I'm like, well, why don't I take this prompt and share with my colleagues, but not just the Copilot CSAs. I'll share this with the security and the endpoint CSAs. So what I did was I kept the conversation going. And I said, now adapt this prompt to the role of a security CSA and the role of a endpoint CSA. And it realigned all the services and support scenarios and guidance that particular style and type of CSA would focus on. And for those that may not know, Cloud Solution Architect, right? That's the role of what we do. And so it gave me all these prompts. I shared them with all my team. People loved it. It's like that's the type of impact that I recommend across all of my conversations with customers, end users. Like you guys got to do this. If you find a prompt that's valuable, you have to share it. Sharing is caring, man. Like this is how we become more efficient in our work and help other people realize the value of what AI can do. Mental health savings and mental health benefits are the biggest plus benefit that I've ever received from this technology. It's not even like, oh, I'm more productive, I'm more innovative. Like, yeah, that's great. I save time. Cool. I love the fact that I get to get rid of all kinds of work that I don't care about. This is me I'm being very honest. I don't normally talk about this kind of stuff in customer conversations, but I get to get rid of that just junk. And I get to focus on what truly creates value for me and my career, but also Microsoft, right? I can impact more people. I can do more. I can help more understand the experiences and benefit them, save them time, which creates that mental health benefit and stress reduction, and then move forward with these tools at their fingertips with a better understanding of how to use them. So some things to consider there. Share your prompts, okay? To use Claude and researchers, should we have an enterprise account with Claude as well? No. So actually, that brings me back to the Claude experience. Let's actually go back over here. Let me try to refresh this one more time, because I want to talk about the security. This is pretty important, and the reason why I don't think too many customers will be enabling the Claude integration. There we go. First report is GPT-4o, was created by GPT-4o1. And the second report / Claude was created by Claude Opus 4.1 rate these two reports so I can understand the overall similarities and differences between these models. I have two purposes for this response. The first purpose is to understand which model I should use based on the work tasks I have. The second purpose is to help explain this information to a live audience I'm streaming to right now. Let's just see what it does, right? Oh my god. Forgot to enable. Try GPT-5. No, hold on. Oh my god, did I type all of that for nothing? I typed all of that for nothing. Refresh this. What? I was trying to toggle it on before it went through. Oh my gosh, okay. Damn. Well, now I gotta redo that whole prompt. Sorry about that, everyone. So, hey, greetings, Jadon. Welcome. Would you include emojis in a prompt? I freaking hate the emojis. The emojis, it's like, hey, custom system instructions. Customize your experience. Do not use emojis. Problem solved, right? Use your custom system instructions. That'll help you out within the chat experience. Let me refresh one more time, see if that pops up. I really don't want to have to redo that prompt because I like the wording there. And now I don't remember. Fuck me. Okay. All right. So review the following two reports that talk to the similarities and differences between GPT 401, if I can type, in the researcher agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot and the new Claude 4.1 Opus integration found in the following pages. Slash was created by GPT 401 and slash was created by Claude Opus 4.1. I have two purposes for this information. The first purpose is to understand, toggle it on this time, right? Jesus, if I do this again. Okay, there we go. I almost did again, right? See, I saw the chats. Thank you all so much. I'm gonna lose my mind. The first purpose is to understand when to use each model based on the type of work I'm performing, such as when one model may perform better than another. The second purpose is to help explain these experiences to a live audience I'm working with right now. Geez, what a load of words. Use the mic. Jadon, I thought about it. I thought about using the mic. Sometimes it messes up when I do the live streams. We'll try it maybe the next time. So I got it. I got GPT-5 on this time. See, I could have probably copied the prompt out, but I was trying to save it. I was trying to turn on while it was running after I clicked enter, so then it just got rid of everything. My apologies for the time delay there, everyone. So let's just see what it comes up with, right? All right. Start with 401 for most researcher tasks, especially large docs, 1 million token context, math or quantitative reasoning, a multimodal image text analysis. We don't care about cost efficiency because there's no cost of these experiences besides the license that you have. That's, of course, with more like custom-based solutions using these LLMs, so not too worried about there. Switch to Opus 4.1 when you need complex multi-file so coding. Okay, that's what I keep hearing is like coding, long-form, nuanced writing. Nuanced. I'm curious what this means. What is long-form nuanced writing? So we'll come back to that maybe. A step-by-step extended reasoning or extra cautious guardrailed responses, even if it costs more per token. So this I'm also really curious about. So when we talk about extra cautious guardrailed responses. So let's talk about the security for a second. When it comes to OpenAI and our partnership with OpenAI, all of these models that OpenAI provides us as Microsoft, like 401, 5, 403 Mini, 40, any of these, right? They are all directly hosted in Microsoft infrastructure. So they're in our Azure data centers. That is where all of the data processing occurs. We have a security trust boundary around that data infrastructure and data estate to keep all of your data safe and secure, and nothing ever goes out to OpenAI specifically for data processing or usage scenarios. Like, your data is your data. And a lot of people ask us, right, like, well, if we're processing, does that mean we're training the models? And we know the models are already trained. We do not train foundational models with customer data, right? All of your data is centrally located inside of your Microsoft 365 tenant. The only thing that we are doing is we are using our orchestration engine to look at the specific data that exists in your tenant and the graph via your prompt, and then it aggregates all of that information together and sends it off to the Azure data infrastructure for processing by the LLM. And then it comes back in. Okay, I have a video on the overall how Copilot works architecture. If you haven't seen that yet, it's one of the more recent ones. Something to check out. When it comes to Claude, all of those data protections don't apply. So to my current awareness, the Claude models are hosted by Anthropic, which means they are not inside of Microsoft data infrastructure, and they are directly controlled by, my assumption is, Anthropic. So a lot of our data protections, our data protection addendum, via certain product terms and such, those don't apply to Claude model experiences being used. What you have to do, I'll show all of you this. If you're an administrator, let's duplicate this because I want to look back at this. Let's go to the admin center. If you're not an admin, of course, this is new. This is where we can go as 365 admins to see all the functionalities. I'm sure a lot of you probably are. And we can go into settings and data access. So you now see there's an option here, AI providers for other large language models. And this is so intriguing. So I just have this sneaking suspicion that we're going to add more here. Are we going to add Google Gemini in here? I swear that would be the day we partner with one of our biggest competitors to bring their LLMs into Copilot. How funny would that be? But anyways, that would be hilarious. It's really important. I've connected this already. I've allowed this, but you have to explicitly allow this as an admin. Don't go in if you're an admin and just do this right now if it's not. You need to work with your security teams to ensure that your security policies apply and they're ready and prepared. Because, I mean, do we have all the data security pieces in here? Yeah, see? Your organization is choosing to share your data with Anthropic to power the features. The data is processed outside of all Microsoft managed environments and audit controls. Therefore, customer agreements, like product terms and data processing addendums, do not apply. So Anthropic's terms of service apply. Use Anthropic services is governed by Anthropic's commercial terms of service and data processing addendum. So again, different approach. If your organization's okay with it, like, cool, like, that's great. I actually thought that Microsoft wasn't going to enable this for me, just understanding some of this, but they did. I actually have access to it internally at Microsoft too. I got access at the same time all of you did. So very, very new, right? So some things to consider, but I'm very intrigued by all of this, and I'm very curious about how this ecosystem of a multitude of LLM solutions are now going to play within Copilot experiences. This is sort of that first step outside the bounds of just OpenAI. So we'll see where this goes. But yeah, some things to consider. Just as a smart business. Smart business, yeah. I mean, getting your LLMs out there, getting more usage out of them, and I mean, from a user standpoint, the amount of competition these days is crazy for AI products. So I think it's good because, of course, it keeps costs low and it makes sure that innovation is just continuously happening because everyone is wanting to outdo themselves. From a user, like I like to have choice. I think a lot of you probably do too. So it's just intriguing to see how this is going to continue to play out, and I'm very curious how we're going to include additional LLM experiences within. So some good stuff. Joe here says we definitely won't be using those in our org. Then the enterprise data security is the big reason. Yeah, we use Copilot exactly. So I'm just I have this expectation that because of those security constraints and data processing constraints, not too many companies are going to enable this. So it's critical to know, especially if you're not an admin, you're an end user, you might wonder, why don't I have Claude at the researcher agent? I want Claude in the researcher agent. That's why, probably. Security is number one priority for all customers. Every single time I go into Copilot conversations with a brand new customer, number one priority is security and compliance and governance controls. Every single time. So, what is the skills frontier agent you have on the left? I just enabled this. I don't have it fully baked in. Great question. So, people skills. We announced this a few months ago or so. This is where it can actually look at your people profile information. Let me see if it actually works now. Hold on. Let's see if I have anything here that pops up. You have to do some configuration with this too. I just configured this the other day and I was trying it out, but I haven't gotten it to work yet. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So if I go to my profile, did I keep that chat up? I did not keep the chat up. We'll go back into this chat. We're gonna come back in here because I want to look at this, right? Let's go to new chat. Actually, I need to go to search because I need to find my people profile. And my current people profile is mod administrator. Person. Why is my account not showing up? Am I dumb? So there should be a way to add your people skills. For some reason, my people entry is not showing up. Let's go to the previous search. People. There we go. Is it on my profile card? Okay. See, why did we get rid of Delve? Why do we get rid of Delve? Why do I have to go search people entry information like this? This is silly. All right, so it's part of your people card. I want my Delve profile back. I was a SharePoint admin for many years. So Delve profile, I go way back with SharePoint. OneDrive used to be my sites. Delve profile used to be my sites. It branched off and we got to 365. Now you have OneDrive. And then you had Delve. Now Delve's gone. Whatever. Long history. Anyways, so you see these skills, right? So the system, I had to enable some stuff. It said, hey, we think these skills might be useful for you. So these are skills that, let's see, skills that I've confirmed. Can I go to show all? How do I confirm my skills, actually? I haven't even looked in. Update my profile. Is it in here? Skills. There we go. Let's add Microsoft 365 Copilot. Can I add it? Why can't I add it? Okay, I'll just add a few of these then. Apparently it doesn't want me to add Microsoft 365. No, results. Do I have to have like a skill library that my organization built? See, I don't know too much about this yet. So this is something that I still got to figure out a little bit. But I'll figure it out. Anyways, the whole purpose of this, I have a few skills at least now integrated. Save my changes. Cool. Changes saved. Oh, it can take up to 24 hours. I saw a message there, so I don't know if it'll work or not. Anyways, when it comes to Quirt, pronounce your name correctly there, hopefully, right? Online names. The skills agent allows you to easily find people within your organization based on the skills aligned within their profile. I actually think I had this idea years ago. You know, again, I worked with SharePoint for a long time before my days at Microsoft. I'll run you down through a real use case. So it used to be I worked in the utility industry. I worked for the local energy utility in my area, and I had this idea that I wanted to be able to find people more easily. And the reason why is because within my organization, the example that I had at the time was I needed to figure out who in my organization I could talk to about firewall requests. I needed to figure out who to talk to about the type of firewall ports and such that we had blocked internally for some on-premise SharePoint networking things that we were doing, right? So what do I do? Think about what you do first and foremost. How do you approach that? Well, the way back in the day that I used to approach it was I would go to my colleague that's very tenured, that knew a lot of people there. I was a little bit newer, so I didn't really know too many people or the different IT teams that were there or how they were structured. So I go to my colleague, and my colleague would give me a few names, and I'd be like, okay, I'll go reach out to them. So I'd send some Skype messages back then, Skype for Business, and then, you know, navigate through, or links, right? I think it used to be called as well. And I'd be sending my messages, and then, you know, finally I get someone hooked on. They'd be like, oh, Nick, actually go and reach out to so-and-so. I'm like, okay, now I'll reach out to that person. It's just this, like, game of telephone, right? You're playing this game of telephone that could take you multiple days to eventually find somebody based on the skill or the type of work that they do. How silly, man. How stupid is that? So I had this really rich idea that I wanted them to actually tie back into like our My Sites and such, where people would fill out their profiles. I said, I want a specific like people objective in my organization that on a yearly basis we are required to update our profiles. It never came to fruition. I pushed it as hard as I could, but I wanted to be able to search for people internally via our, you know, people search mechanisms at the time, which were terrible, but still something, and find people based on their skills or based on their areas of work or based on their projects. Because I don't want to sit there playing a game of telephone all frickin' day long. I want to find the people to get the work done, right? So now with AI, it's becoming more pronounced where you can change and adapt and add your own skills within this experience, and you have an agent built for skills. So all I have to do is, what is it, project management? Let's try project management. Let's see. Let's see if that one works. It said 24 hours, but let's just try it. Project management. Give it a moment. Come on. Let's see what you got. Okay. So nothing. So again, I just added it onto my profile. So I'd have to wait. Maybe next time we look at this, I'll have a little bit more information on this. So great question anyways, but hopefully that helps to explain what that skills agent is as a part of the Frontier program, which this is also something that your organization will need to set up. People skills in Microsoft 365 Copilot. You have to go to the people skills page to set it up. This is a part of the Viva platform. So I set up this particular people skills library. Now, can I like, oh, I can't see. So look, you can add skill. Okay, so admins can add skills. So I've never done this, right? Oh, okay. How do I add a skill? Add skills. No default skills have been added to your organization's library. Do I need to add a default? Copilot? Okay. I'm gonna save my true internal thoughts for a different day. You can all gauge probably what I'm thinking. Okay, sure. Add skill. Copilot, I guess here. Okay, I'm not even gonna try. Anyways, let's go back. Let's go back. All right, I want to go back to the comparison that we were doing. Let's go back here. Okay. Let's see. I don't see skills in my account. Yeah, see, you have to have it configured. So most likely you don't have it configured. It's brand new. So something else to consider. I just got access to it in my demo environment like a week ago. Uh, Mohi here. How to select Claude models in Copilot. Mohi specifically, we were talking about it's in the researcher agent, right? So if you go to the researcher agent, just like how GPT-5 is a toggle experience as a part of Copilot Chat, Claude would be a toggle experience in the researcher agent, but your organization has to make it available. So if it's not in the researcher agent, your organization has not made it available. So just something to consider there. There's data security things. We just talked about that. So again, something to consider. Okay. Check. I'll look at the skill stuff later. Right. I really want to get into this output. Let's look at this output. Right. Okay. So here's our review. Right. So let's just go through decision guide. You can read out loud. What's the task? Okay. Some tasks and such. Side by side, quick reference. Very large inputs. You have very large inputs. Okay. Recommendation GPT 401. Math, quantitative, native image understanding, hire software engineer, benchmark scores, methodical, stepwise edits, refactors across files. I mean, like, I would probably want to prompt a little bit more here and ask, give me like a real working scenario, like make it more real. Like, okay, we can say this, but like, what's something in my work that might require, okay, let's say, I'm a Copilot Cloud Solution Architect at Microsoft, assisting customers with strategy and deployment of Copilot solutions. Provide me a real-world scenario on when I would use each of these models based on my role and work. Other output we'll look at here in just a second. Actually, let's just scroll up. Scroll up here. What both reports agree on. Model choice is available. Okay. Admin input, sure. Cost, performance trade-off. I'm still not worried about cost. We don't have to worry about cost. Context window. So see, 401 allegedly has a much larger context window as compared to Claude 4.1. So that's something to consider. Don't worry about pricing. Coding tasks, if you're using Researcher to do some form of like coding task, I don't know a use case for that. If there is one and you're aware of one, let me know. I'm not a developer, so I'm not vibe coding. I don't know how to develop myself out of a box. Okay, I don't know how to do it. So, math and reasoning. Okay, so I mean, real life demo prompts. Admin data handling, we've already talked about that. Nuanced discrepancies, ready to use, when to use which. Massive inputs. Okay. Let's see what it comes up with for like an actual real world working scenario. So, regulated industry discovery compress a 900-page policy corpus, use GPT 401. So, a bank wants Copilot to answer frontline questions about I don't even know what KYC AML procedures are, but sure, we could research that if we wanted to know. You need a rapid synthesis of hundreds of pages to produce an executive brief, a taxonomy, and candidate retrieval queries. Okay. I mean, I'm not doing that kind of work, but that's a great use case to talk to a customer that may do that form of work. So that's good. That's not too bad. App modernization proof of concept, multi-file refactor and tests. An ISV brings a monolith needing cloud migration. What the heck is a monolith? I don't know why I think of a building. I'm not smart, and some of you might be smarter than me. You'll find out, right? I'm an open book about what I know and what I don't know. So make fun of me for not knowing things. It's okay. I do not mind. I have very thick skin. So your POC is to refactor 5 to 10 related modules, extract shared validation, add tests, and produce a diff and rollback plan. So, I mean, it's coding specific. Executive comms on sensitive topics policy change brief. Healthcare client must announce. Okay, so this is a little bit more my alley. Must announce a PHI handling changes across regions. You need a 2-page executive brief and email templates to multiple roles with a cautious, compliant tone. Default writing style is measured and consistent. Careful boundary keeping, useful for compliance-heavy communications. Strong at long-form coherent, which keeps the tone consistent across multiple audiences. Interesting. That's intriguing. That's intriguing when we talk about language, right? That's one thing that it's so interesting. Like as a human, right? I don't know if anybody else thinks like me in this case, but I like to think of these AI models as like having their own personality. Like I'm me based on this right here, like who I am, my life experiences, my work experiences, my education. That's made me what I am today. And if you equate that to AI, like we as humans are trained on data. We process data here through here, right? Or here through here. So it's the same somewhat form of concept. Like AI is trained on vast amounts of data, just a lot faster than we are. So I still like to think of like these AI tools as having their own individual personalities, and I don't know the personalities as well when it comes to like some of these other models. Hopefully that makes sense. I humanize a lot of these experiences. It makes it easier to understand. So, frontline enablement, SOPs, diagram walkthrough, okay, RFPs. Start with 401 and finish with Claude. Contains hundreds of pages, multiple tabs, ingest everything. You know, that makes me curious. So GPT-5 you can only toggle on in one conversation. Can I, which is this one, that's the non-Claude, can I toggle Claude on or off? Okay, you can't. So just like GPT-5, if you enable it, it stays enabled in that specific conversation. That's good to know. That's good to know. What about this? That's the one I just did. What about the other one? Let's go back. This one? Yeah. If I click it. Okay. Okay. So that's good to know too. So something else to consider. All right, let's look at the chat here. Looking through, enterprise security is such a concern. We're asking for a review. Yeah, security is always going to be the gatekeepers to a lot of these experiences. You got to watch out, but I mean, it's understandable. Especially, you know, again, our priority is making sure that our customers' priorities is top of mind security. You want to keep your data safe and secure. Oh, looks like just a few of you going talking back and forth. Good. I love a little lively conversation. So, wish there was a test zone not to give it to global users to test it out. Yeah, I see. Bill, that would be nice if you could like target individual specific users as initial testers. But still, the one thing, fact of the matter remains, you're going to be giving these tools, probably if you go down that path, to any person that has access to internal IP, like internal IP that could be confidential or highly confidential in nature. Like I'm technically like a frontline worker for Microsoft. I'm customer facing. I have access to like internal IP for Microsoft that's highly confidential. And I could technically send some of that through, at least to my current awareness, to these new models. So you got to be cautious. I'm not an admin in Microsoft for the tenant. I'll say that. So I find Google Gemini by far generates the best graphical output, like infographics, etc. I've not tried it. I'll have to see what it can do. Hopefully in any spare time that I get. A lot of my spare time is spent with my family. So work family, you know, small kids, they take up all your time. My daughter's getting really good at soccer. So lots of fun there. I like to live my life with my family as much as possible. Bill, I'm not sure if you've tried out anything within the Create module at this point, like creating infographics and such. Just something to promote if you want to try it out if you haven't seen already. So some good stuff there, which, by the way, this new Create module should now be available for all unlicensed users as well. Anyone that's using Copilot, whether it's free or paid, has access to the Create module and all of its AI features. So something else to consider there. Joe's here says, what's your opinion on latent space AI versus chain of thought? Joe, I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I don't even know what latent space AI is. So I know chain of thought style prompting, if that's what you're referring to, but I don't know what the other one is. So I've learned to just be very transparent with people. If I don't know something, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you all. I'm not sure. I'm not aware. So I'm a smart person, but I'm not like extremely smart. The AI makes me smarter, you could say. So just some things to consider. If you want to maybe define that out, Joe, a little bit more, or I can even do some research, right? I can research a little bit. I'm always looking to learn and grow and understand more. So happy to peruse and look into it, right? One new thing, I'm winding down on time. I know we're a little bit past the hour, but I have one other thing that I want to talk to that I think is a fairly bigger-ish benefit to people. So really quickly, okay. Copilot chat, right? Copilot chat, this right here, all this yummy stuff. This same chat experience is now being added into the productivity apps. And you might say, well, Nick, it was in Word and PowerPoint and Excel and all those different places. And not the same version iteration. I'll give you a great example. If you are prompting in Word, like in a specific document, all of those prompts and responses are only in that document. Ever. So you have to go back to that document to see all of those previous chat history specific conversations if you need to, or again, chat directly in that file about existing data. We're changing that now, which is a nice thing that I've seen, where let's just go into a Word file, right? Let's go into a Word file. I think I should have the update in my experience now. It started rolling out on September 10th. Oh, it wants me to sign in. Sign in. Go in there. Let's see here. Baron says, our unlicensed users don't seem to be able to use brand templates and create. Can we create an organizational color palette? And it should be possible, but I believe it has to do, Baron, specifically for your question on brand templates in the create module. I think that has to do with some form of some like Office app policy that you have to use. It's not as easy as like the organization asset libraries you can set up in SharePoint Online to make like PowerPoint templates available in the Copilot PowerPoint experience. There's like more that you have to do to get the brand templates in the Create module. It's something that's still on my radar to figure out. I just haven't gotten to it. There's so much change all the time. So it's hard to pick, where exactly do I focus. But there's a policy that you should be able to use to push brand templates in the Create module. And I can say that because I have them internal in my Microsoft environment for my admins. So I know it's there. I know it's possible. I haven't been able to do it in like a demo environment yet. Let's see here. I like to run a SWOT analysis using Claude versus GPT to see what it does based on my emails, teams. Okay, Bill, I'll look in to see if I can try that out. I'll see if I can try that out. We'll try it out. Let's see here. Apparently it's something to do with giving the AI a space to hold lots of different solutions at once rather than following a single probabilistic path. Joe, that's intriguing. But like, is it actually a space? Like a digital space? I don't know. I have to look into it more. Too many smart people things for me. Let me shift my camera. Bill here says, a big fun of this channel came late as I have been vibe coding with Google AI Studio that will replace a paid subscription solution we use. It's crazy. That AI is crazy, man. There's so much stuff going on. Let's open this up. Let's see if it looks different here. I don't have it. I don't have it, do I? This is not. Let's go to Outlook. I think it should be an Outlook. So maybe it hasn't rolled out to my Word experience yet. Is it an Outlook? It's an Outlook. It's an Outlook. So it should eventually be in Word. So you see how the UI is different over this. What's the word? This thing on the right side, right? Right here. Use my mouse. we now have Copilot Chat that we're building into the apps. So your conversation history is cross-app. I think that's really useful. So I could say something like, summarize my email today, right? Over here. Let that go through directly from my chat experience. And again, okay, summary emails. Oh, okay, summarize the last week. Sure. Last week. This is a demo environment, so I don't really have much. Okay, there you go. So a few things. So this chat should also be available if I go over to this chat. Let's refresh. In theory, I tried this the other day. It should be there. There we go. There it is. So we're rolling out the exact same chat experience into these apps, so you now have a cross-app history. It should be in Word and PowerPoint, Excel, and so on and so forth. So you'll have more of that merged experience. One thing to consider. Yes. So let's go back to Outlook. If anybody ever recalls, if you've been using Outlook Copilot at all, we had the ability to run skills in Outlook. I could say something like, set my out of office indicating I'm on vacation until September 30th. And that would invoke a skill in Outlook. It doesn't work. Did it work? Oh, okay, hold on, did it work? Let's see. Count. Yeah, see. Hallucination! We hit it. Look at that. It didn't work, right? But look what it says. You're out of office now, set to indicate you're on vacation. Okay. I want you all to be careful. So, with the rollout of Copilot Chat, there might be some slight nuanced skill issues with what's built into the app experiences. Outlook, the skills have actually been removed. Creating email rules, setting out of office messages, scheduling one-on-one meetings. We used to be able to do all of this in Copilot Chat now. Look, you can't do that right now. They have indicated the product group specifically should be backfilled into the experience hopefully by the end of the year. So something to watch out for, but we're trying to merge a lot of these things together to cross them over, making them easier to find and to work with, no matter the app that you're using. Right? More of a unified experience across apps. So just something to consider, but there's going to be some nuanced changes that come along with that over time. Just be careful. There might be certain loss of functionality. We've seen this happen, though, in the past. When we started to roll out GPT 4.0 into the main Copilot chat experience earlier this year in the spring, we lost the dictation feature, and then they backfilled that back in. So this kind of change is going to be very constant. Get used to it. It sucks, but it is what it is. So I just deal with it and I move on. And I wish I didn't have to say it that way, but it's just the state of things right now. So, oh, and look at this, by the way. It created a memory for me. Actually, that is one cool thing that I realized. Your Copilot memories, because of this integration now, also apply across apps. That wasn't possible before. So you now can invoke more of that custom personalization from Copilot memory within the built-in app chat experiences as this is rolling out. So that's actually pretty useful for more custom results of information based on the memories that you have personalized. So some good stuff there. Cool. Sorry about the dogs. Hold on 1 second here. I have 4 dogs, so that sorry. They're just gonna bark. So we're winding down the stream, but I want to answer a few chats just to finalize the rest of this. Let's see here really quickly. For testing different models against each other. Nano Banana is already getting a run for its money. See, like Joe, you sound like you're doing a lot more complex stuff. I really only focus on Copilot. That's it. That's it, man. I wish I had time to get into some more of like the model providers and such. Like I've used ChatGPT a bit just because there's a lot of OpenAI specific solutions in Copilot, and I want to see some similarities and differences. But it's hard. It's hard, man. There's not enough time in a day. My time I would honestly much rather spend with my family. I use AI as a time saving tool so I can spend more time with my kids. in my family. That's my main goal as who I am as a person. And that's where my passion lies. Working on my garden, spend time with family. Maybe if I have a little bit of time, playing some video games, things like that. I love Sea of Thieves, big Sea of Thieves fan. Looking through here a little bit more. Can I get word about the Copilot prompt gallery? Haven't come across that yet and sounds interesting for one of my projects. Not your average Joe Rogan. Copilot prompt gallery is built into all Copilot chat experiences. So, unfortunately, I think it's very silly. They made it hard to find. So, like these initial prompts that you have down here, if you click on See More, scroll through prompt gallery here at the very bottom. So, like, it's built into Copilot chat. This is the prompt gallery. But you also have access for in-app specific prompts. Let's open up that Word document again. So if I'm in Word, I have the sidebar chat here on the right. I click on the little Add Plus button and View Prompts. This will give you prompt gallery, but aligned to Word app specific prompts. So the particular app experience you're in will dictate scope or filter based on the app, right? What prompts that you have. So hopefully that helps, not your average Joe Rogan, your specific question there. I was trying to click on the X on my other screen. Let's see here. I'm still waiting for the arrival of the Copilot function in Excel. The current Copilot experience in Excel can be frustrating. Joe, that's actually a good point too. I haven't checked that recently. I've been waiting for it too in my demo environment. I wish that I could show in a video, but I have to wait until it's actually in my demonstration environments to use. It's a part of the Frontier program, but I'm signed up for all the features. Let's go in here really quick. Oh, I do. There we go. So this is actually something I want to make a video on. I found it really intriguing. I'm very curious how I saw other YouTubers that are out there, right? Working with like technology channels, Copilot, things like that. I'm very curious how they got access to this and were able to get videos out there so quickly. I don't know how they did that. Because, like, I literally work for Microsoft. And I didn't have access to this feature until probably within the last week. Because I checked about a week ago and it wasn't in here. So within the last week. So how are people getting this feature 2, 3, 4 weeks ago? I don't, like, when it released. I don't understand that. So this is something I would love to make a video on, but I don't really have too many use cases for it yet that I can talk to it like at a higher level. So something in the future, but hey, if I see it here in a demo environment, this means that as a part of the Frontier program, it should be actively rolling out. This is a like customer-facing demo tenant that would be at the same level as all of your tenants. So something to consider. Let's see here. I do find the M365 app on Windows 11 slows down during the day or randomly freezes. Bill, it's funny you say that. I've had some device-based issues. I usually think of like, we at Microsoft, we're guinea pigs. We get new updates internally pushed to our devices all the time. Teams is like freezing on me at times. Had issues on a town hall the other day. There's just all kinds of like little nuanced issues. So I have noticed when I've tried to open the Create module recently and edit images, my whole device bogs down. So some of these experiences, it's like, is it my organization and policies and configuration controls on my device, or is it the actual app? I know I could probably figure it out if I look into like the networking backend, but I don't have time to do that. So I'd rather use my time for more productive work and just move on. But yeah, I've noticed some nuanced issues with it. Using an Edge does not have that. Oh, okay, well, web browser doesn't cause an issue. Interesting. I haven't had too many issues with the desktop application recently. I'm curious, maybe there's an update or something like that. I don't know. Let's see here. J-Dawn, I have 3 50-pound dogs. Yeah, we have 4. We have let's see, a yellow lab. He's only 7 months old, but he's huge. We have a pit bull who's about a year old. We have a beagle mix who's right about 50 pounds. He's a big boy. Not like fat, but like he's a big boy. And then we have another beagle mix, but like on the opposite end of whatever she might be. So she looks more like a husky. But 4 dogs, it's craziness in our house. 4 dogs, 2 kids, me and my wife. I have a sheet. This is a sheet. I'm in the basement. I used to be upstairs. I used to have my own office in my own room. Now I've been brought down to the basement because the house is getting crowded, and I'm down here with spiders. I'm on meetings, and I got spiders crawling on the wall. This is the way, by the way, when I'm at Microsoft, like doing my customer stuff, my laptop's right here. So I'm looking this way, like this. And there's a wall behind me. And I got spiders crawling across my wall. Like everywhere. It's great. It's so much fun. I live in the Dark Depths dungeon. Let's see here. Trying to automate scheduling 101, like Viva Insights Fit 50. I'm doing a workplace qualification in AI productivity, so I'm not an expert, just an enthusiast learner. Hey, Joe, you can teach me. Teach me too. Look, that's one thing, you want to ever come to Microsoft, the one thing that anyone ever has to learn is you have to be open to change. You have to learn and grow. We call it a growth mindset. I always want to learn new things, especially when it comes to technology. So, are you okay? Do you need something? What's up? Hold on 1 second. Sorry. My 7-year-old was down here. She should be in bed. Let's see here. Did you mention any planner integration within Copilot Chat itself? Yeah, no planner, no to-do. I mean, we're waiting. No grounding source information. I know Planner right now, we have rolled out in preview the project manager agent. So the project manager agent should be there, but I also think you need to have like the project premium plan to use the project manager agent. I do have it. I really want to try it out. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like really quickly. And then I'm going to be about done here, everyone. Let's see, Planner. You have to create a plan with it integrated. If I go to new plan with project manager, you see this in preview right now. Right? So I already have this actually created with Project Falcon. This is apparently like a multi-agent system on the back end behind this. Like the very first one to my current awareness. But I don't know what it does. So I think I created this with the project manager agent. Learn more. Okay, well here, I'll put the link in the chat for everyone if anyone wants to check it out. There you go. Yeah, I'm hoping like Planner could be a grounding source in the future. Like how we have everything integrated with like 365 groups. It'd be really nice. But yeah, some things to consider. So I think that's most of the chat messages. If I missed your chat message, I'm really sorry. I'm tired. I got to get ready for a birthday party tomorrow. It's going to be crazy, hectic. Some things that I actually wanted to talk to, but unfortunately I'm not going to have time. I'm going to put the Microsoft Mechanics YouTube channel in the chat as well. There's some new videos here on like the new collaborative agents talking about the knowledge agent. I want to make a video on the knowledge agent. It's built into SharePoint. I'm going to tell you all, there's some new cool things with agents and SharePoint coming out. Man, I'm looking forward to it. Because you got to remember, I worked with SharePoint for over a decade, and there's some amazing things happening in the SharePoint ecosystem. That's one. The other one is just like the C Researcher with model choice, Claude. There's also agents and teams. There's a video on Knowledge Agent here too. So this is from the 365 YouTube channel. So some things there. Not Your Average Joe Rogan says, Project Manager Agent is super cool. So it sounds like you have some experience with it at least, so have to try it out. But yeah, I'm going to have to head out, everyone. So, hey, I really appreciate the time. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for the chats. Thanks for the engagement. Again, my apologies for the lack of content. We're working on it. I'm trying to find some more time. I'm hoping that at this point I can start doing at least a video a week. My goal was 2 to 3 a week. Also, I try new things. The last video that I put out there, I tried to get really fancy with it. I'll be honest. I like putting all kinds of videos and transitions and things. I'm going to tell all of you, I feel like a lot of people are here to just really get into the stuff. And you don't really care about the fluffiness and things like that. I feel like I was trying to do too much. So I think what I'm going to do, just to be my authentic self, I'm just going to create my videos. I'm just going to record just like this. I'm going to put all this stuff up there. I'm not going to like do all kinds of transitions. Maybe every once in a while I'll throw in a thing or two here or there. And I'm just going to get the stuff you want out there. You want to learn? I'm here to teach. Right, so I want to get that stuff out there for you. But hey, I appreciate everybody's support. Thank you all so much. I hope all of you have a great, wonderful weekend. Get some relaxed time in, family time, game time, whatever your specific choices are. And next live stream should probably be in the next 2 weeks or so. We usually try Wednesdays. Today was Friday, but probably look to about from now, 2 weeks from now, something like that. So have a good one, everyone. Thank you all so much. We'll see you in the next one.